Bringing me back. Bringing me back. Alright. Bringing me back. Alright. Remember your face. And if you really wanted to talk about me, you would be just alright to let that know where I belong. Behind my backtrack, bringing me back. Bringing me back. Remember your face. And if you really wanted to talk about me, you would be just. When I think about it, if it was the found praise, the building of the wall around it for the blocking of the sunlight. When I think about it, if it was the found praise. When I think about it, if it was the found praise, the building of the wall around it for the blocking of the sunlight. Until the foolish and fond withered away from you can find that happiness. You'll synthesize it through the research. You'll find out for the creating synthetic of a variation. Rather than persevering for the what you can have and think if you found the truth. Spit inside the multi-dimensional face because you cannot look at the growth of the human simplicity. I'm afraid the thoughts have been bent for the prophetic, for the masculine. I'm already done that for the weak and when I think about it, if it was the found praise, the building of the wall around it for the blocking of the sunlight. Until the foolish and fond withered away from you can find that happiness. You'll synthesize it through the research. Find out for the creating synthetic of a variation. Rather than persevering for the what you can have and think if you found the truth. Spit inside the multi-dimensional face because you cannot look at the world with the human simplicity. I'm afraid the thoughts have been bent for the prophetic, for the masculine. I'm already done that for the we can find a world like this and we can turn it back. When I think about it, if it was the found praise, the building of the wall around it for the blocking of the sunlight. Until the foolish and fond withered away for you can find that happiness. You'll synthesize it through the research. You'll find out for the creating synthetic of a variation. Rather than persevering for the what you can have and think if you found the truth. Spit inside the multi-dimensional face because you would not look at the world with the human simplicity. I'm afraid the thoughts have been bent for the prophetic, for the masculine. I'm already done that for the we can find a world like this and we can turn it back. This is only a perspective. I honestly buy seance and several candles in the round table for the curtains and to turn off those lights and let it be held tightly. Speak the words, house full of birds and your ravens or maybe butterfly. A single death for the something that you can find both within the lies between you and the hard place between us. Something that's from beyond. Eyes of the reality, foreign enough and shouldn't be for the ghost of truth. And you and I for the dam that rise and wave and change your corruption for the coexistence that offer no resistance by the honesty. Brought to you by the seance and you could be falling and rising again. When I think about it, if it was the found praise, the building of the wall around it for the blocking of the sunlight. Until the foolish and fond withered away for you can find that happiness. You'll synthesize it through the research. When I think about it, if it was the found praise, the building of the wall around it for the blocking of the sunlight. Until the foolish and fond withered away for you can find that happiness. You'll synthesize it through the research. You'll find out for the creating synthetic of a variation. Rather than persevering for the what you can have and think if you found the truth. Spit inside the multi-dimensional face because you would not look at the world with the human simplicity. I'm afraid the thoughts have been bent for the prophetic, for the masculine. I'm already done that for the we can find a world like this and we can turn it back. This is only a perspective. I honestly buy seance and several candles in the round table for the curtains and to turn off those lights and let it be held tightly. Speak the words, house full of birds and your ravens or maybe butterfly. A single death for the something that you can find both within the lies between you and the hard place between us. Something that's from beyond. Eyes of the reality, foreign enough and shouldn't be for the ghost of truth. You and I for the damned that rise and wave to change your corruption for the coexistence that offer no resistance by the honesty. Brought to you by the seance, and you could be falling and rising again. You could be unrequited and reunited for this to be the battles and single, melting, gyrating with each wave of hope of your wandering. Sink that to each wave of rejection. Place that you can find that for the dark cloud to be the storm. For the lovers, to emit the birds of a flower to flock together. Of course, yes, for the things to not be the broken wings that better not be loved by. I see you with for the singer, you for the eyes do not see, the heart knows. If I only had a melody for the wind, but the songbird is out of the songs, and melancholy enough as it goes. I can feel that rather than several, tying myself together for the death that it would be the ghost, and lieu of that for to be the proletariat I am, for the fingers in the mouth and not to be in sight, for the night, for the missing, for the musing, for the what I can fear and believing, God, for the listening, believing, for the creation, the least of all myself, for this is one without for this dictation. They guided me for this to be the not for the virginity, for this the world was overtaken, but not for the calling of the game, for the broken promises and this shame. Your disgust is untitled for the I really trust you not to be realized and you not to be the enemy for the loud to be the moment for the sleeping and where you began for the never ending cycle beginning for the hindering of whether you can find the emotion to the freedom for the weather the demons scream. You can find the hours of the night for you can't stream screaming alone for the closing of the eyes and I lay that for the one whether the future beholding the torment. Of course, then it's just where I could become for the searching for the love and all the eyes are shut that I can see your face. I'm there for they can have that legal right for the little, for the older, for the not, believe in God's power, for the might, for the I can never do not the plans of life and I can see the walk of no faith, not by faith. Not the walk in my faith and not by sight. Not the walk in my faith and not by the night. For the hungry back to the garden, for the perfect hole, for the entire world, for the liberated soul, for the curiosity, for the like a child, for the been on a journey, for no hurt, for the plenty of space, where you can be free for safe. Now to do as you please, for this is your home. Homeward bound. Homeward behind that stars. Behind that back of the opportunity for this to lead. Use that. This could be pleasure moment, live for today, not for the worth. This could be pleasure moment, live for today, not for the worth. And never rewind your past for the reason for the remaining. Extinguished from your falling the bridge and been burned. Every lesson is meant for this to be the principle for every lesson to be learned. Not once it remains the same, forever learning from the mistakes and turning that wrong turn for the wrongs and the thought for the hurt that leads us. Help us be the light. World needs to be the kind of for this to be alert, feeling of the weak souls. Feeling that we hurt for the be the more for the in here for now. We all have that story for this to be some wish we hadn't picked up. Pick up the pen for this again. You write but your own story. You meant to be for the best to be willing and meant for the last to be the blessing for someone to be out there. Other than yourself for the helping yourself and the power meant for this to be anywhere for the help that you need alone for this to be the self-absorbed and your faith in direction, the positive peace. We live. We continue to pray that for the thank God for forever the creator, you to be the artist and the poet. The writer with the author for the huge of the book of life. You always with that for the might for the hearts that be clean enough to continue with the falling with the everlasting light for the timing of the isn't and the more than isn't when it comes and when it's ready. Come through for that to be praised. You be the million times more for the feeling for the unconditional love like never before. Reopen doors meant stay closed. Those blessings were just not meant for this time. Be patient. Test the patience for the heart to be fine. Your will for the set before you cannot be meant for you to be still, but isn't God's time. It isn't yours, it isn't poets. It is not you, it is the code for the lost wherever you are, for the leave, for the hurt, for the sadness, and where you can weep, and through the heart, and through the lessons in your head, without that I'm better off. Dead, true, the things that I say for not drunk. My thoughts are astray for the sobriety returns. Less for the fire to still, the quietly it burn. So not to pay attention to the tone for the late night. I've been for drinking so long for the sense of the sundown. I acting like a king who lost his crown. And acting for the never, the not, but to be mine for the treasure, the trove. Should it be divine for not to be for the western toe for that I'm left out and set that cope for the love and forward in time. Your height, I can't climb. Rise out everything to desire for the pursuit of you finally I tie. Often dream for that future place. The age does not corrupt my youthful face, and this is traveling for travel wide, but never you seen me by myself for the clearly. I've been mine too well for the good, mine too love for mine to bed. Mine for another to hold me. Meant for another single one to come be near. How to feel about you, I don't know. This is where the pursuit of survives and silhouettes of the trees, and silhouettes of dreams that consume the theme. Where people come in and living in, and this would be the child, but they're coming to die. The people aren't participating for the experiment. Originality slowly decaying back to that to be the suburb for the neon lights to creep up into the subconscious. Warping you as the innocence for the delicate for the white rose so you could be dancing inside of that breeze. Picked apart but the lost clouds of hands, cold hands, seemingly temporarily warm. Proud to be that angel for the lost city for the sense of reality when your wings are clipped. You find that sweet sensation, for it was the truth and for the boy could tell you he loves you. He didn't hear the words for the mouth but the ready for the verse, for the thrill, for the secret admirer, for the you could be the truth.
I won't second guess it just because it felt so real sincere. For the handing over the heart, for the fresh picked up, for the be the middle, for the perfectly colored black. And label like it's labels for the wine, for the reading rewinding back to life. For the words in your heart is to swallow for you. The almost the iridescent for the flowers you be grow. You be find that vowel for the syllable for where you can find that hope. You left waiting for these words, not excuse to be inconstant. For this to be the love for the existence. For the hour you become to know. You still be not for the meant for the single word of it, for you can just remember it. Believe that to be a sad little boy. I would choose you in time for you to choose me, chasing who doesn't love me back.
This could be pleasure, moment, live for today, not for the worth, and never rewind your past for the reason for the remaining, extinguished for your fall in the bridge. This could be pleasure, moment, live for today, not for the worth, and never rewind your past for the reason. This could be pleasure, moment, live for today, not for the worth, and never rewind your past for the reason for the remaining, extinguished for your fall in the bridge and been burned. Every lesson you learn, meant for this to be the principle for every lesson you learn, not once to be made the same, but every learning mistakes. Turning that wrong turn for the walls in the thought that hurt the Jesus.
Still others,
Help us be the light.
realize
World needs to be the kind of food to be alert to the weak souls. Feeling that we hurt for the be the more for the in here for the now. We all have that story for this to be some wish we hadn't picked up. Pick up the pen for this again. You write for your own story. You meant to be for the best, to be real and meant for the last to be the blessing for someone to be out there. Other than yourself, for the help in yourself and the power meant for to be anywhere for the help you need it all for this to be the self-absorbed. Your faith in direction, the positive peace. We live. We continue to pray that for the thank God for forever the creator, the artist and the poet, the writer with the author for the huge of the book of light. You always with that for the might for the hearts that be clean enough for the continue with the falling with the everlasting light for the timing of the isn't the more that isn't when it comes and when it's ready. Come through for that to be praised. You be the million times more for the feeling for the unconditional love like never before. Reopen doors, meant stay to close. Those blessings which is not meant for this time. Be patient. Testing the patience for the heart to be fine. Your will for the set before you cannot be meant. Meant for you to be still, but isn't God's time. It isn't yours, it isn't yours. It is not you. It is the code for the lost. Wherever you are with the lead, for the hurt, for the sad is where you can weave. Keep your heart with your lessons in your head without that I'm better off. Dead, true. Things that I say, that I drunk. My thoughts are straight for the sobriety returns. Lust for the fire to still the quietly it burns. So not to pay attention to this tone for the late night. I've been for drinking so long for the sense of the sundown. I acting like a king who lost his crown. You know, acting for the never the number.
This could be pleasure, moment, live for today, not for the worth, and never rewind your past for the reason for the remaining, extinguished for your fall in the bridge and been burned. Every lesson you meant for this to be the principle for every lesson to be learned, not once to be made the same, but never learning for the mistakes and turning that wrong turn with the walls in the thought for the hurt that exists. Help us be the light. World needs this to be the kind of for this to be alert, feeling for the weak souls. Feeling that we hurt for the be the more for the in here for the now. We all have that story for this to be some wish we hadn't picked up. Pick up the pen for this again. You write for your own story. You meant to be for the best, to be real and meant for the last to be the blessing for someone to be out there. Other than yourself, for the help in yourself and the power meant for to be anywhere for the help. You need it all for this to be the self-absorbed. Faith in direction, the positive peace. We live. We continue to pray that for the thank God for forever the creator, the artist and the poet, the writer with the author with the huge of the book of light. You always with that for the might for the hearts that be clean enough to continue with the falling with the everlasting light for the timing of the isn't and the more that isn't when it comes and when it's ready. Come through for that to be praised. You be the million times more for the feeling for the unconditional love like never before. Reopen doors meant stay to close. Those blessings which is not meant for this time. Be patient. Testing the patience for the heart to be fine. Will for the set before you cannot be meant for you to be still, but isn't God's time. It isn't yours, it isn't poet's. It is not you. It is the code for the lost wherever you are with the lead for the hurt for the sad is where you can weave through the heart and you feel lessons in your head with that I'm better off. Dead, true. Things that I say for not drunk. My thoughts are straight for the sobriety return.
lust for the fire to still think quietly it burned. So not to pay attention to his tongue for late that night. I've been for drinking so long for the sense of the sundown. I acting like a king who lost his crown. And acting for the never to not but to be mine for the treasure of the trove. Truly divine and not to be for the Western toe for that I'm left out and set that coat for the look forward in time. Your height, I can't climb. Rise out everything to desire for the pursuit you finally high time. Often dream for that future place. Age does not corrupt my youthful face. And this is traveling wide from the way you've seen me, not myself clearly. I've been mine too. Mine to love, mine to bear. Mine for the love to hold me. Meant for the another single to come be here. How I feel about you, I don't know. This is what you consider to survive the silhouettes of trees. The silhouettes of dreams and consume the things. Where people come in and living in, and this would be the child that they come in and die. The people aren't just participating for the experiment. Originality slowly became back to that to be the suburb for the neon lights that keep up with the subconscious. Warping you was innocence, but delicate with the white rose. You dancing inside of that breeze. Part of the lost clouds of hands, cold hands, secretly temporarily warm. Proud to be that angel for the lost city, for the sense of reality when your wings are closed. Find that sweet sensation, but it was the message. What to tell you you love you. Didn't hit anywhere through the mouth, but better for the first, for the thrill, for the secret, admire for the truth. I won't second guess it just because it felt so real sincere. For the handing over the heart for the fresh picked up. You feel it for the perfectly coming back. The label like it's left, it's the wine for the beating, winding back to life. The words in your heart to swallow. I'm just gonna do this for the love. Find that out and sit with me. Find it for me. Left to wait for the words, not as you. Love, existence. The hour you'll come to know. You still be not for the single word of it for the just remember. Exactly sad, Lord. I would choose you in time. Choose me. Chase me. Who doesn't love you,
with the brothers from the field and the beats that be
This could be pleasure, moment, live for today, not for the worth, and never rewind your past for the reason for the remaining extinguished for your fallen the bridge and been burned. Every lesson's meant for this to be the principle for every lesson to be learned, not once it remains the same, forever learning for the mistakes and turning that wrong turn for the loss and the thought for the hurt that exists. Help us be the light. The world needs to be the kind of for this to be alert, feeling of the weak souls. Feeling that we hurt for the be the more for the in here for now. We all have that story for this to be some wish we hadn't picked up. Pick up the pen for this again. You write but your own story. You meant to be for the best, be willing and meant for the last to be the blessing for someone to be out there. Other than yourself for the helping yourself and empowerment for this to be anywhere for the help of you need it all for this to be the self-absence of the world. Effective direction, the positive peace. We live. We continue to pray that for the thank God for forever the creator, the artist and the poet, the writer with the author for the huge of the book of life. You always be there for the light for the hearts that be clean enough to continue with the falling with the everlasting light for the time you need to listen to the word and listen to when it comes and when it's ready. Come through for that to be praised. A million times more for the fiddle for the unconditional love like never before. Reopen doors, meant stayed and closed. Those blessings which is not made this time. Be patient. Casting the patience for the heart to be fine. No will for the set before you cannot be them. Meant for you to be still, but it's in God's time. It isn't yours, it isn't yours. It is not you. It is the code for the lost. Wherever you are, with the leaves, the hurt for the sadness, and where you can weep. Keep your heart with your lessons in your head without it. I'm better off. Dead, true. Things that I say for that drunk. My thoughts on the straight for the sobriety returns. Less for the fire to still be quietly it burns. So not to pay attention to its calm for the late night. I've been for drinking so long for the sense of the sundown. I acted like a king who lost his crown. And acting for the lever, the law, but to be mine for the treasure of the jewel. Truly the divine, but not to be for the what's